All right, so in today's video, we're going to talk about, this comes up a lot in comments, all over platforms, but really understanding that the amount of times you affirm does not equate to how fast your manifestation is going to come in, especially with an SP. So I'm going to explain deeper what I mean by that. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. Hey everyone, it's Velez, Conscious Life and Success Coach, and I am really excited to be here with you today. So before we dive in, if you feel like you need additional support, I have my amazing new group called Quantum Leap Your Love Life, where I show up live every week in Facebook doing a Q&A, and then once a month, members of that group get to join with me on a Zoom coaching group session. It's super fun. Replays are available, etc. So if you're interested, the link is below. I also have How to Manifest Your SP Back and Keep Them for Good course, as well as Self-Concept. It's a 29-day course that's all about you. You are the most important, and it's in regards to your inner talkings, your self-concept when it comes to you in love, whether you're manifesting an SP or someone new. Also, join me on Instagram and TikTok. I am there as well. I'm just starting to really get back into Instagram. I was doing nothing on Instagram because I was focusing on YouTube and TikTok, but now I have more time to be able to post in Instagram. So the info is below. I'm giving a little bit behind the scenes, a kind of little bit more personal side of me, as well as supporting and encouraging you and motivating you and fucking reminding you of your power. So definitely check that out. I would love for you to be a part of that with me. All right, so let's talk about this. This comes up a lot. And listen, this is a process, right? This is a process when our minds want something and we don't have it, and we try to focus on the solution, right? We try to focus on, how can I get this? What's going on? So when you guys are manifesting your SP, especially that, there's a lot of fear for most of you. There's a lot of anxiety and worry and believing that I need this person to hurry up and come in my life so I feel X, Y, and Z. And, I need to affirm so that I know that I am the power or the operant power of my reality. And I'm going to keep affirming so I can keep checking the 3D and get the reassurance I need, i.e. movement in the 3D to constantly reassure me and make me feel good. So basically you're trying to manifest. So they always say like manifesting is easy and effortless. And it's like, I understood what that meant for a long time, but it really clicked for me like a really long time ago where I was like, it isn't about trying to make something happen. And again, I've been talking a lot about this because this comes up quite a bit. You're not affirming to seek the reassurance you need to make you feel better in the 3D. You're affirming because your thoughts literally create your reality. And you want to focus on a story of who you are and what you want that's favorable, that's something you are preferring and choosing to experience in your life. So the name of the game is not, I'm going to affirm so this can hurry up and happen. I mean, sometimes it will manifest in like that, but most of the people who end up in that usually don't sustain what it is that they're manifesting in. So you haven't internally changed your perspective of them, and you haven't changed your perspective of you in regards to the situation. So they talk about like try to relax when you're manifesting. So let's talk a little bit about that because there's something to it. So in the beginning, a lot of people, your mental diet is shit, right? Your mental diet is running the old programming, it's running the old story, it's running the old everything of the old reality, everything that you don't want, right? So in that process, most people are going, and there's nothing wrong with this. This is part of the process to reprogram your mind, is to think different thoughts, focus on the new story of what you want so you can shut the mind off and start focusing on getting what you want. And you're also learning how to train your mind, because most people that are manifesting in their person, they have a history of failed relationships. So there is programming that is happening when you're affirming a different story of love for yourself, of how relationships unfold for you, of what you get to experience in your relationships and who you are. So that is really important, and I don't think that should be bypassed, because some people like to bypass this and they're just really like, just feel good, and I want you to feel good. You deserve to feel good. We don't deserve to feel like shit. And the way you make yourself feel good is to change your focus and your story and your perspective. So it all boils back down to thoughts. But I think in the beginning stages of this, a lot of people just start affirming like crazy because they want to get rid of the old story. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that is a way to get rid of the old story. But you really have to start looking at yourself and understanding the difference of you is, if you're just thinking that if I affirm 900 times a day, then I'm going to get what I want really fast. So they're equating with the number of times they affirm throughout the day is like somehow this is going to make this rush in more quickly. Now, we understand that what we focus on and persist in our mind will manifest and unfold. But there is no proof that says if I affirm 900 times a day that this is going to come in 900 times faster. So that should not be your goal. Your goal should be, I don't want to keep thinking a story that doesn't feel good. I don't want to keep focusing my mind on a dominant story that is unfavorable for me. And that's really what you're doing. You're reprogramming your self-concept in your old story. Now, when you're understanding the relaxing part, this is the relaxing part, is you're understanding you're the operant power. Most of you keep forgetting that. And I know I did too many times, because we're not used to thinking that way and being in that state and trusting in that. You're not trusting in the unseen, and you're not understanding that you're the operant power and that no one has free will in your reality. So like, your job is just to know by the story that I got this is coming in. You don't have to constantly affirm 9,000 things that you want to experience from your SP for 9,000 days in a row. You can certainly do that. And then if you stopped and you just started affirming like, oh, they're going to come back to me, not even worried, guess who's going to come back to you? And guess who's going to show up with the story that you had previously affirmed? Because like I said, it doesn't fucking erase. You guys think like, if I don't keep focusing on, this elaborate story for months and months and months and months and months and years and years and years, it's never going to come into fruition. No. When you think about it, think about what you want, right? That's automatic. Like, I look at this because you guys know I've manifested in several SPs multiple times in my life. And before I knew law of assumption, I would stay stuck in the old story after I cut things off with them for like 2 or 3 months. And then I would feel better. And I would say, fuck it, whatever. But during that time while I was with them and after I left them, I would still focus. Even when I was in the old story, I was still affirming what I wanted from them, right? And then once I got tired and I released the old story completely, and I just said, fuck it, I don't want to think about this anymore, whatever, I'm moving on, right? Again, this was pre-law of assumption days. I would focus on me, my life, and I completely dropped the old story, and I just knew, I fucking knew they will be back. He's gonna come back. They always come back. No one else is better than me. They're not gonna find anyone else better than me. No matter how many people they date, who they date, how long they date, they're gonna come back to me. Guess what always happened? So it's really kind of understanding that. So you can practice this the same way. I've done this with my business too. I still affirm. You can affirm in steps periodically. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of you are taking this to a level that's not the goal. The goal is not to try to make something hurry up and fucking happen, and that you're feeling like shit all day and you're just affirming a story so that way you get movement. Because then you guys are emailing me with coaching and putting in the comments, the ones that are doing that, like, oh, I got a little bit of movement, but they're not doing X, Y, and Z. Or nothing's changing. Or there's no movement. What am I doing wrong? And it's like, you're not really doing anything wrong, except you're trying to fucking force something. And that's where the relaxation comes in, and understanding that manifesting is easy and effortlessly, because you don't have to fucking force it. It comes to you. But you got to get you okay enough to relax and trust and know that it's coming to you. Why do you fucking need this right now? Anytime I feel like I need something ASAP, it's because I'm in a state of anxiety or fear or lack, right? I'm in this mindset in my brain that is focusing on, this fear of losing something or someone, or not having enough of it, or I'm never going to experience this again, or I'm going to be rejected, or whatever, right? I'm not going to get what I want, right? And that's the only time that people want to hurry up and pull something in. And that's not what manifesting is. Manifesting is changing your focus, because you understand that the 3D mirrors back to your mind, and your job is to keep focusing on what you want, to keep focusing on an end result that feels really good for you, to affirm, if you want to manifest in steps, you can do that, but do it from a place of, I don't need this to show up right now. This will be a beautiful experience if, when this person comes back in my life, I get to have this boom, boom, boom experience with them, and you list a couple things that are important to you, right? Because of course they're going to be calling you, of course they're going to be taking you on dates, things like that. So it's kind of really understanding, again, everything comes back to you. What's going on with you that you're doing this, when you're chasing them, when you're, affirming 100 million times a day and you're fucking exhausting yourselves, which there is a moment in the beginning, because the mental diet is important, and there is a moment in the beginning of that process where it does require effort on your part, because you're literally interrupting an old thought pattern and an old programming system in your brain. So it does require repetition and consistency and effort. So it can feel in the beginning like annoying when you're trying to redirect your thinking, because your mind isn't trained to just go with where you tell it to go. And when you're focusing on the SP, your mind is not already naturally assuming in your favor. So when you naturally think of your SP, it's the old story. So that's understandable in that moment and in the beginning process of this. But then there needs to be a point where you really start to settle in, you're the fucking operant power, you got this, and that this person's going to come in one day. I don't know if it's tomorrow, if it's in 3 months or a fucking year, but you're gonna get what the fuck you want. And are you living your best life? Where are you at internally? What are you focusing on? What are you doing? And really trusting and knowing you're going to receive everything you want. And those of you that get this and are living your best life, you understand how much a relaxing place it is, and you know it's going to be. And when you think of that person, because it doesn't mean you're dropping the desire, it doesn't mean you're letting go of what you want to manifest, right? No, what you're doing is you're dropping trying to force it. You're dropping being in the version of you that's still too dominantly attached to the old story and the old reality. And you're shifting into a reality where you already have what you want, so you're not worried about it, or it's coming. You're going to get everything you want. And when you think of that person and that situation, that's the affirmation. It's done, they're mine. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing when they come back in. We're gonna have the best time ever. They're going to be coming in the best, most pleasing, loving, rewarding way, what the fuck ever you want, right? You just go there, because all of you have already affirmed a bazillion fucking times what you want to experience. Like, again, it doesn't erase it if you start focusing on the end. So I want you to think about this, because this is what persist until it hardens in effect means, is you're not over here obsessively for fucking months and months, they're calling me and texting me every day, 100 million times a day, and you're checking 3D and you're feeling like shit all the time. And no, that's not fun. And you're gonna experience that in the beginning, because everybody has to go through that process, because again, you're breaking your thought pattern. So it's okay if you're there, you'll move through that. You just keep pushing through it, because at some point, especially when you work on self-concept and really understanding everyone as you push out and operant power, you'll start to shift into that knowing. You'll start to shift into understanding, oh yeah, I got this, they'll be back, not even worried. And you'll start reliving your life and reclaiming you and what gets you excited. So many of you are on pause in your life trying to manifest something in. You're either gonna get a shitty result from that, like super hot and cold, or you're gonna delay it because you're still focusing on, I don't have this, so I need to keep doing this. And you're trying to force it so that you can hurry up and see something in the 3D. So if that's where you're at, I want you to move into the version of you, self-concept, how amazing you are. You're the fucking best. No one else matters but you. And trusting and knowing that what you want will be yours. And go live your best life. And when you think of it, keep reaffirming that story. They're gonna come in, they're gonna give me everything I want, because I'm fucking amazing. They know I'm amazing. They know I'm the best choice for them. And let it come to you, because it will. Go reread the story from Neville about the doctor and the doctor's wife. That's literally what they did. Their manifestation, they had the end result in mind of building that apartment building. They didn't want to put any money into it. They wanted to pay it at the back end after it was filled up and rented out. And all of a sudden, everyone as you pushed out kicked in, right? And someone came offering them, hey, let's do this, but here, you know, it wasn't the full manifestation, it was crumbs. And they said, no, thank you. And they kept living in the end. And the person came back, like, I don't even know how many times, if it was 3 times, 4 times, giving them a little bit more each time, but it still wasn't the full manifestation. And they said, no, thank you, we're gonna wait. And they literally did nothing except persist in the end that I got this, we're gonna get it, we don't need to entertain all this. And eventually that person came back after multiple times and literally gave them everything they wanted, exactly how they wanted it, and then they accepted. So if you don't know that story, Google it, go look it up. It's The Doctor and the Doctor's Wife, Neville got her. I can't remember which book it's in, but it's really a great story of going to the end, trusting and knowing no matter what the 3D was showing that you're gonna get what you want, and not settling, not trying to, you know, make something happen that presented itself that wasn't what you wanted because you were trying to force it, and that they relaxed and they knew they were gonna get everything they wanted, and they did. And this happens with specific people too. There is no difference. All right, so I hope you found this video helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.